Hi, Jean. How are you?
I'm great. How you doing? Everything all right down there?
Everything's great in North Carolina.
Oh, you've been going all over. I caught up with you in Long Island, and that was awesome. So tell us a little bit
Yes.
about the Healing America tour. What's going on?
We've been doing a lot of traveling with Healing America. If you want to know our schedule, all you have to do is go to healingamericatogether.com and it'll have our tour schedule. We've been to Long Island. We were in St. Petersburg, Florida. And Long Island was great because you and I got to reconnect, which was a lot of fun. We've been to Atlanta, Georgia. This weekend, we're going to Houston, Texas. That's March 3rd. And then next weekend, we go to San Diego, California, and then St. Louis, Missouri. That's March
Out
24th.
of all the traveling that you've done, what hit you the most? I mean, in all the people you met.
I say this over and over. I feel like a bird just repeating myself, but it's the stories, Jean. It's the people telling about how they've healed their diabetes or they've had cancer and it's gone. Blood pressure, weight loss stories, a ton of weight loss stories. It's just really fun to hear all of that because then you know why you're doing this
Yeah.
because we are a very sick country and no one's
Mhm.
giving us this information.
No.
And that's why Nelson wanted to do Healing America and go on a tour and talk about all of the issues that are affecting our healthcare system, our economy, our environment. And then we want to take it back to Durham, North Carolina, and do the project here so that we can be videotaping and show everybody what's going on in Durham, and it can be replicated across the country. So it's really going to be an exciting time. And we'll probably get started in Durham here very soon. April is our hope.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, and we stream out short videos of every place we go. So, and we post them on Facebook so people can see that, or you can go to our website to learn more. But yes, it's been very busy here, to say the least. But fun, very inspiring and a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we've been busy with the Starch Queens.
What have you guys been up to?
Well, we started in January our weight loss program, and it's not just quite a weight loss program because we're educating people.
Mhm.
Each day we have a theme, which I research and write about and collect articles, videos on that topic. Then we have morning driving with Nancy. So in the morning, she puts her cell phone up and she records a video driving to work.
I
And
love that.
she gets right into your head. Oh my gosh. She talks about, the topic of the day and whatever it is for that day, and
Uh-huh.
it's amazing. And then we do Q&As on Tuesday, talking Tuesdays with the Starch Queens Q&A. And then Sunday night I create a webinar each week, and
Mhm.
it's on some other aspect, and it's not just food, it's changing your whole health,
Yeah.
from what goes in, what goes on, your environment. You have to exercise, you have to change all of those aspects of it. So
So
we
you're
just
touching on all of those things that I'm
yeah,
passionate about, the mind,
yeah,
the body, the spirit. It's all
exactly.
connected. None of it's
Exactly.
separated.
And so we just keep having, more and more people sign up, and I'm just so excited because we're
Yeah.
seeing such amazing results. So,
Hmm. So just to give me an example, what
mhm.
what is the topic that you're doing a webinar on this week? Just to give people a teaser.
A teaser. This week is we're taking topics from Neal Barnard's book on power foods for the brain.
Hmm.
So we did, the last one we just did was on building your vitamin shield and how that can help to change because Alzheimer's, we just, buried my mother-in-law.
Hmm.
So, and she was in the nursing home for, gosh, almost 8 years. And that she went in starting at $4,000 a month. And by the time she passed, it was over $8,000 a month. So
Hmm.
it
Oh
doubled
my
in
goodness.
that time.
Wow.
So, wow, we've
Yeah.
got a huge crisis coming. So we talk a little bit, and I've got a series coming up with Dr. Neal Barnard. We started already the first ones, and yeah, I mean, we're doing it on his book, Power Foods for the Brain. And if you have not read this book, I strongly recommend it.
Mhm.
So that's the next webinar coming up on,
Yeah.
Busy
We
Doc.
have a whole generation of young people
Yes,
coming up that are
yes,
going to have even more sicknesses because
I
we're
know,
feeding our kids from the time they're going to school and they're eating
I
French
know.
fries and hot dogs and fast food. Really, we are really in a healthcare crisis.
We
We're
are.
going to be.
Well, Kim, we had a viewer ask us a recipe challenge. And she says, how can you make a hummus without oil? And I'm like, Oh, I'm passing that right over to the queen. To the queen. Go.
Well, it's super easy. You don't need oil for anything in hummus because hummus really is, it's chickpeas and it's tahini. And I love to figure out how I can get the tahini down and get those high fat plant foods down to a minimum because you don't want to be eating lots of that. It's super easy. I have a hummus recipe in both cookbooks, but it's chickpeas, it's lemon juice, it's some spices that you enjoy, and tahini, a couple tablespoons of tahini, and you're good to go. But if you want it creamier, you can use a blender or a Vitamix. But
I usually mine does not. I mean, I like to get the ones the store bought ones because I just can never get it creamy.
I put it in the Vitamix. If I'm making it and I really want it creamy, add a little more water to it and put it in the Vitamix and just, kind of get a really nice spin on it. You just gotta keep working at it. It's a little bit of a pain, but you
Okay,
can
because
do
I
it.
always did mine in the Cuisinart, and I could
Yeah.
just never get it creamy enough.
Yeah. I kind of like it though when it's a little bit chunky. I like that. I don't know, it just feels like
No, I like
eating.
the
You like
creamy.
creamy? Yeah.
Spread that
Yeah.
bad boy.
Well, when you go to the grocery store and you buy regular hummus and it's
Oh,
super creamy, you can assume it's most likely because they use a lot of oil.
right.
So there are some brands that I wanted to talk about because a lot of people think they can't buy already processed hummus without oil in it. And one of the first brands, and it's near and dear to me because they live right here in North Carolina.
I told you about that one.
Yes, Roots is, well, they have several that are made with oil, but they do
Yes.
have one that's a no oil hummus right
Yep.
in Asheville, North Carolina. So support Roots. And I don't know, we can find it here, but I don't know if you're outside of North
I
Carolina.
do. I told you about that, and
Yep,
you said, "Oh, I'm going to check this out."
yep,
So
yep.
we have it up here, and that's one of my favorites. But for me, I'm salt sensitive, so it's a rare treat because
Mhm.
even that amount of salt that's in it is enough to set me off.
And you
So
don't need salt because if you're using lemon juice, you really don't need that salt. So it's
exactly,
an
but it does
easy
taste
thing to
good.
cut back on.
That's why I
Yes,
like it.
salt does take
That's why
a
I like
take.
it. What are some other
And then
brands?
Trader Joe's carries an eggplant hummus, which I have never seen, but I saw it posted somewhere. But they carry it. I'm going to look this week because I'm a huge Trader Joe fan. They also have a tahini sauce, which I really like. I use that sometimes instead of straight tahini. I'll use the
Uh-huh.
Trader Joe tahini sauce.
Oh,
And then Oasis has a Mediterranean hummus. And then Cedars, the brand Cedars, you have to be careful because, again, a lot of these companies, they have several hummuses
mm.
and only one of them is oil free. So make sure you look at those ingredient labels.
We have to be ingredient detectives.
Yeah, we
We
do.
definitely do.
We do.
Okay, well, we got that one debunked. All right. That was too easy. Come on, you guys.
Easy,
You
I know.
viewers out there, give us something really. Come on, bring it on.
Yeah,
We challenge you guys. Come on.
I
All
agree.
right. So, I think it was the second or third show that we did, you did a cooking demo on yogurt,
Hmm.
and that blew me away.
Hmm.
Now, first of all, I got a new Instant Pot, so it has the yogurt button on it. And then I ordered, what's the ingredient?
The soy milk, the
No, the
probiotic.
probiotic. What's that? What's
Yes.
the one you recommended?
I recommended the Solgar Advanced 40 Plus Acidophilus. That's a
Okay.
mouthful.
Well, and I bought that, and it's sitting in my bathroom cupboard because it just got there and got shoved in there because we got company coming over, and I just shoved it in there. Is that
Mhm.
going to be okay?
It's fine because it says here refrigeration optional. I
Ah,
keep mine in the refrigerator, but I've left it out before, so it's good, Jane. You can go ahead and use it.
okay. But you've taken that yogurt that you make in the Instant Pot to the next level. Tell us about that.
I have a story about that. So I had a cooking class just this past December, and it was canceled because we had snow. And one of the recipes I was going to demonstrate was yogurt. So I made enough yogurt for 25 people to have half a cup. And so I had all this yogurt in my refrigerator. I had no idea what to do with it. So I thought I'll strain it. I'll just strain it and make it thick because I wanted to experiment a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I should have made ice cream with it because I'm curious about that too. But what I did is I put it
Okay.
on top of a coffee filter and I strained several coffee filters. I used a big colander and I just let it sit overnight. And the next morning I got something that was honestly the consistency of mayonnaise. So it was really had that tangy taste that sour cream has. Actually, I think it tasted just like sour cream. So then I had the idea of, well, why not season it, right? So I put some of the garlic powder and onion powder and smoked paprika, and it was to die for. It tasted, to me, it tasted like cream cheese,
Oh my
a
gosh.
really thick, smoky ranch dip. And I think the longer it sits, the drier it's going to get. It's going to be more like a cheese. In fact, I know that that's how Miyoko Shinner makes her cheese. She starts from yogurt with many of them.
Wow.
So yeah.
Well, you made a video, so let's watch that. Oh my God, Kim. That was amazing. Now, where did you get those strainer thingies?
Okay, so I just went on Amazon and I was looking for a strainer, and I got, it looks like it's a little base,
Yeah.
nothing in it, and then it's a little like screen that fits down in it, and it's nice because I don't have a colander sitting on top of a bowl. But I'll tell you what, and then it has a little top that goes with it.
So
But
what's that called?
This is called, it's a Quizzy Pro. There's
Quizzy
several different types and models that you can get. This one's kind of small, and I like it because it fits in my refrigerator. But one of the things I didn't like about it, and I don't know if you saw it in the video, but a lot of the solids were straining through. So I was a little disappointed because I thought, well, there's some good stuff in that liquid on the bottom. When I used the coffee filter, it was just water. That was all I was getting. It was clear, but this was more of a milky. So I'm not sure how I feel about this yet. And I think I might put some coffee filters down.
I was just going to say, could you just put a coffee filter right in that?
You
and
could.
Try it?
You absolutely could. And then I thought, I was told, okay, so you have to use this Solgar Advanced 40 Plus Acidophilus. And I thought, I'm just going to go to my local grocery store and pick up a probiotic. So I picked up Solare Multidophilus, and it had acidophilus in it, and it had some other good things in it, bifidum and bulgaricus and different things. And I thought, I'll just throw 3 or 4 of these in a carton. And I got yogurt on this. So it worked. It had a little different flavor, but it was still
better, or
it wasn't, no, it was different flavor, but I didn't like it any more or less. Let's put it that way. But I'll tell you what, do not use anything other than this type of milk. And I say that, there is an Eden soy, which I've been told that works because it's just soybeans and water, and it's organic. But when I started venturing into almond milk and some soy milks that had other things in it, other ingredients, and cashew milk, I got a disaster. It separated. It was gross. In fact, the yogurt drama in our house went on for several months, and I gave up. I said, I can't make yogurt.
Drama?
Oh, yogurt drama. Because I
only in your household, Kim.
I love yogurt. That was the one thing I was really missing because I enjoy it. So and it's it's an ingredient in a lot of salad dressings and sauces. And I thought, oh, if I could just have yogurt, I would be all set. And I gave up on it. And I had a couple people tell me that it's all about the milk, and it is. It really is all about the milk. So I wouldn't substitute the milk out for anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
good to know. I
That's my
still have to
yogurt
make
drama.
it. Yogurt drama. Okay. Only in the
Only in
Gamble
our house.
household.
That's
Okay.
right.
Well, in our last show, we talked about sugar. And I just want to pick up on that because I think there's a little bit of confusion out there about sugar. And
Mm-hmm.
the American Medical Association recommends that men get only 37.5 grams, which is about 9 teaspoons or 150 calories of sugar per day, and women for 25 grams of sugar, which is about 100 calories per day, or about 6 teaspoons or 2 tablespoons.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, and I think in a lot of people's minds, is that does that include like sugar that you're going to get in your food? You know, let's say I ate a piece of fruit. Is that part of that?
No, I would have been cooked a long time ago because I love fruit and we put berries on our cereal in the morning. No, it's only for added sugars
Mm-hmm.
and fruit juices. So if you're one to drink a lot of orange juice or apple juice, you might want to cut that. But I think that getting our sugar from whole foods is the key. And then looking at those 6 teaspoons or 2 tablespoons allowance and thinking about sprinkling it on your oatmeal in the morning, or maybe you're making a sauce and you want to put a little teaspoon or 2 in your marinara sauce. I think that's probably okay. But it's the hidden sugars. If you're making a lot of cookies and muffins and you're buying granola bars out of the box and cereals, it's everywhere. Sugar is just everywhere.
Oh my God, one can of like a cola is 12 ounces. We're talking 39 grams.
Yeah. Yeah.
39 grams. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
saw that's more than the daily nutritional requirement,
Yeah.
for a day in just
Mm-hmm.
one soda. And I see
Mm-hmm.
the kids drinking these sports drinks, and that just absolutely makes me crazy.
Yeah.
It does. And
The
they
sports
think it's
drinks are
healthy. They think
yeah.
it's healthy, and it's like, oh gosh.
And you work in schools, so you see these kids walking around with bagged cookies and granola bars and
Yeah.
thinking it's healthy, right? I mean, it's everywhere.
No, it's not good, and we need to be careful. But
Mm-hmm.
but on the other hand, like we just had in the Starts Queens the Q&A last Tuesday, we had a woman who had written in and wanted to know in this question that she was starting to be concerned about dates because she bought dates to buy, for a dressing to put in a couple of dates to
Right.
give it a little bit of sweetness, but then she found herself binging on them.
Yeah.
And when you look at how much sugar is in a date, then that's a problem. I mean, if you're starting to eat, a bunch of those bad boys, and if that becomes a trigger food, then no, we can't have that in the
Yes.
house.
Well, and dried fruit, the water's taken out of it, and so it's not really the same as if you were just picking it fresh off the vine. But I think that goes on a lot. People, they want to cut back their sugar, so they use 3 cups of dates in something, or they're making date syrups or raisin syrups, and
Yes.
I still think we need to be conscious of that if we're grinding and adding it to our food.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Um,
especially if you're trying to lose weight. I know
exactly.
most people, in terms of just getting to be plant-based, that's great. But if you're really trying to lose weight, you need to cut down on
Yeah.
that high caloric density food.
Sugar is
So,
very alluring. When you start in with that cookie, once you get started, that's it.
well, it
I've got that
bangs. It,
fear.
it, it bangs the pleasure center. It really
Yeah,
does.
yeah,
My
yeah.
husband came home and he had bought something, I don't know, a bag of something, and he saved just a little bit, and he came up and he said, "Here, give my," and he put my hand out, and he poured into my hand just a little bit, just in the bottom of it, and it was some chocolate and some other things that were, some nuts and things, and now I'm trying to lose weight, and my brain went,
Yeah, yeah,
because I don't have any of that stuff in the house, and
yeah,
he knows, but he brought some, and he was like, "I'm going to bring you a treat," and I'm like,
yeah.
"Thank you, dear." I mean, because
Mhm.
I ate it like some kind of concentration camp person.
I'm that way with chocolate chips, even if they're vegan. If they're in the house,
Oh yeah.
I'm going to eat them because I deserve them today. I had a terrible day. I deserve my chocolate chips. But
Right.
yeah, it's out of
No,
sight, out
and it banged me. So like when he came home, I was like, it was banging my pleasure center. So the next night I'm like, did you get any more of those?
Yep.
And and I'm looking at him and he's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
the inner raccoon is out.
Mhm.
It's foraging. And I'm like,
Mhm.
because I
Mhm.
will not go and buy them.
Yeah.
Unless I'm making something for, like a family dinner or something like that,
Yeah.
or, making a dessert treat. We just had my husband's birthday and he absolutely loves German chocolate cake.
Mhm.
So, oh, awesome German chocolate cake. Mm-mm-mm. So I did have a little piece of that,
I
but then
love German chocolate.
the rest of it got put up in the little containers and he took it to work
Yep.
that day. I'm like, no, get this out of the house. I can't have
Yep.
this. So,
So I'll tell you a story about my daughter. She's probably going to kill me if I tell this story, but I'm gonna. She loves to bake, and I think she loves to bake because she loves to eat the sugar. And she'll tell you flat out she loves sugar, and she'll come over and cook Nelson and I cookies and brownies and lick the bowl and get into it, and then leave all the cookies and brownies in our house, and then she leaves. Off she goes, and there I'm stuck with all these cookies. And I always say, take them with you. But I think she likes to bake because she can lick the bowl and eat the dough and she gets that sugar fix.
yeah. Oh
And the
no, I'd
more
be taking the brownies with me. The cookies with me. Forget it.
every time she comes home, she makes, muffins or something. And of course, Nelson loves it. I'm not a big cookie hound. I'm not a big sugar hound, but I do know what it feels like to get trapped in it because those chocolate chips are alluring.
They
But
are. Sugar. Yeah, no, we need to say it's a highly
it's
processed
hard.
stuff, and we just need to stay away because it really lights up your brain, just like as if you're addicted to cocaine or heroin. It lights it up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
So, and it takes several days to stop that.
Mhm.
Like I said with my husband when he came home with just that little bit. Oh my God, I kept looking for it
Yeah.
more,
Yeah. And you
and
notice the longer you stay off of it,
yeah,
Jean, do you notice that
my
when you
brain's
do
calm.
have it again, it tastes even more sweet because you're just
Oh
so
my God.
sensitive to it.
I was because I haven't had it in quite a while.
Hmm.
And when he came home and brought just that little bit, it banged in my head like there was no tomorrow. And I was like, I finished that, and then I was down looking for more. I'm like,
Yep.
Is there more?
Yep.
Can I have more?"
Hmm.
And really, I mean, and it took several days to calm my brain back down.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I
So
believe it.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, sugar is not a good thing. So
Hmm.
I just wanted to touch base one more time because we're seeing a huge issue with that.
Hmm.
So,
We are. We are. It's
well,
very alluring.
let's talk breakfast options. I got to share a new recipe that I made up, and it's on the Starch Queens because I started making cooking videos that are recipes that meet Starch Queens, the weight loss
Hmm.
program. And I was looking for something, I don't know, something sweet, something kind of like a dessertish kind of thing. Because
Right.
we usually don't have a dessert at all in the weight loss program. So I took my berries, and we couldn't get the berries fresh. And this time of the year, they're just not very good. They're
Yeah.
expensive and they're not very good. So I bought a bunch of frozen ones. I'm like, you know what? Let me just try, defrosting these. And I mixed a bunch of, I put blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. Those are my favorites. Put them into a container, and then I let it just defrost in the refrigerator.
Hmm.
And then I started zesting some lemon, and that was amazing. But
It's a
to the
great
next level was lime. I put zest, big chunks of zest in the fruit, let
idea.
it
Hmm.
sit overnight. And then in the morning, what I did is I added maybe about a third of a cup of oats
Hmm.
to that, shook it around, and then later in the afternoon, so the morning that I was going to eat it, I put the oats in that morning, and then that afternoon I ate it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it sounds.
So good. So
Yeah.
good. Simple, but really, really good.
And you wouldn't think to do lime.
No. I mean the lemon was amazing, and I
Yeah.
even added some lemon juice, but I think it took it too lemony, and I started doing, just the zest, and that
Hmm.
seemed to do okay. But the lime, wow, it took it to new levels.
And you didn't have to add any maple syrup or dates or nothing like that. Perfect. I
Yeah.
like that.
No, it was really, really good. So I know you have some great, amazing breakfast options. How'd you come up with this idea?
Mason jar oats, I can't remember where I came up with it, but all the mason jar oats come with yogurt, right? You have to have yogurt if you're going to make mason jar oats. And there's so many different variations. Well, I hadn't come up with a yogurt recipe yet. So I just did it with milk and put different things in it like bananas and berries and chia seeds. The chia seeds is what makes that milk get thick and the oats get thick. And it's a great thing. You can make it ahead of time. The kids can alter it according to what they want to do. So I came up with a video with a lot of different variations of mason jar oats. But now that I know how to make yogurt really well, I think I'm going to actually change that recipe a little bit and throw in some of my plant-based yogurt.
Okay, well, I'll be looking forward to that video. But in the meantime, let's watch this.
Okay.
Oh, wow. They were amazing.
Yeah.
That
It's a
was
fun breakfast.
okay. I have some questions for you because, of course, me being me, I have questions. So, when you like take it out and you take it the next day, do you heat that up, or you just eat it cold?
You can heat it up or you can eat it cold. I usually eat it cold, but if you want to heat it up, it'll be just like regular oatmeal. And it lasts for 2 or 3 days.
Okay. Well, because when you put it in, you layered it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you take it out, do you just mix it up
Well,
first, or?
right. When you take it out, you can just mix it up right in the mason jar and then you can stick it in the microwave, or you can dump it all in a bowl and stick it in the microwave and add more berries to it. That's what I tend to do. But if you want it cold, just eat it right out of the mason jar. Either way, whichever works for you.
Those look amazing.
Yeah, those are really fun. And I think they're great for kids. We know how you're in a hurry to go to school. And I remember being in the van with all the kids and trying to grab breakfast.
Yes.
A granola bar with sugar in it.
Right.
Those are nice because you can make them ahead of time. You can make them small. You can cut the recipe in half and then just grab them and go.
Yep.
And take them for snacks. They're great for snacks too.
Absolutely. And I used to make the steel cut oats, and I would make a big batch on the weekends, and I'd come home and I made them for my husband and I. And when my son was living with us, he would come home and start eating those as snacks, and it's like, you're eating my breakfast. Stop that. So then I started making more for him when he came home to have a snack.
Yeah, there's no rules about what you can have you can have breakfast for snack or you can have snack for breakfast. And the other morning for breakfast, I got out a tortilla and I toasted it and I put some refried beans on it. And then I put some salt. We had some guacamole and salsa from the night before. And I know it didn't look like a typical breakfast, but it was so good. It had everything on it. It was very balanced. And I tend to like savory type breakfast. And I think people don't think outside that box.
Well, we're the only country that has a very sweet breakfast or meat-based or animal-based breakfast, I think. There's very few places around that have that. If you travel at all outside this country. Well, let's talk about dining out, because sometimes you have to go out, and for me, I can't very well because of salt and oil being in everything. It's virtually impossible for me to eat out. But we travel and sometimes we have to. So, one of the things I absolutely love is Wendy's. They have a baked potato that you can get there. And usually if I'm traveling, I bring a cooler, of course, and I make your Italian dressing because that's absolutely bar none my favorite dressing. So I'll always have that, and you can just drizzle that over the baked potato, and then I get a salad at
Mhm.
Wendy's. Waffle House. This was interesting. Now you met Charm down in Atlanta. She's the pod leader down there, and she took a picture. She had gone with some friends out to Waffle House for breakfast, and she was able to get hash browns that they cooked without oil and salt for her, and
That's amazing.
a plate of tomatoes.
That's great.
So
So
who
she must have,
knew?
yeah,
Waffle House.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I had the experience at IHOP. Don't ask me why we ended up at IHOP. I think it was somebody else's influence. But anyways, we ended up at IHOP, and I asked her for an omelet without the egg or the cheese. And so after I told her, she said, "Oh, I'll see what we can do." And she brought me the most beautiful plate of sautéed vegetables. It was beautiful. I don't know if it was oil free, but it was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's always the issue that you're going to be dealing with. Ruby Tuesdays has a great salad bar.
Yeah.
They do. Ours just closed up here, so I'm kind of sad about that.
Hmm.
So, Starbucks is another one that when we're on the road, I usually am not a Starbucks person, but they do have oatmeal, and so does Panera. So,
They do.
and that's nice. The sort of Starbucks has one that they have dried blueberries, and they can get some nuts and things like that, and they have
Mhm.
almond milk. So I like going there, if we're on the road because it makes it difficult, to
Yeah.
eat out on the road.
Do they
So
have whole grain bagels?
they do at Starbucks, but they usually sell out very quickly.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's another option. Of course, there's not really much you can put on it.
no.
I know we were at a Starbucks in Nashville and they had almond butter. It was 100% almond butter. So I got the almond butter and the whole grain bagel and did that
Ooh.
because I didn't feel like the oatmeal. But you're right, Starbucks has great options.
Well, I took the bagel and I just dipped it in my oatmeal.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
So it tasted just a great, and I'm not a big fan of eating a dry bagel, but you know, but
You
it
do what you,
was
you you do what you have to do, right? It's amazing how creative we get when we're hungry.
exactly, exactly. How about
Yeah.
you? What do you like on the road?
So when we are traveling, a lot of times we look for Asian restaurants first. And reason being is we can always get rice and we can always get steamed vegetables
Right.
most of the time. And then if you want a little sauce, you can get it on the side because those sauces again have a lot of sodium and oil, so you can just put a little bit on it and season it that way. So that's our first option. As far as fast food, I have to say Subway is what we always end up going to because I know I can get it. It's plant-based, it's oil-free. I can get a whole grain roll. And again, like you, I like Ruby Tuesdays. I love salad bars, and we like mellow mushroom. Do you know about mellow mushroom?
No,
Ooh,
no.
mellow mushroom is it's kind of like a pizza joint. It's a little bit it's I don't say new agey kind of hip. It's got a lot of art when you go in, and they have pizza and they have sandwiches. It's fun food, and you can get tempeh sandwiches, tofu sandwiches. You can get a Reuben sandwich. You can build a salad. It's a fun place to eat. And
Nice.
then the last one, when I went out west to see my daughter, we did a lot of Del Taco, just kind of like a
Okay.
Taco Bell of the West. And you can get rice and beans, not the refried beans, but the regular beans and guacamole, and that works.
Okay. Well, Kim, we're about at that magical moment coming up.
Wait, no, Jean, we didn't get to snacks. Never mind. We'll do it next time.
I know you're yelling at me saying, let's keep our show to a half an hour.
I know. I know.
So
We'll do
we'll just move
snacks
that to the
next
next
time
one.
because I've got lots of snack tricks.
So, well, Kim, we're coming up on that magical moment. So we had some other things for the show, but we'll put them in the next show.
Yeah. Yeah. This
I
was
got
a
to
fun
tell you
show.
about, I got some banana oat balls that I made in my air fryer. Oh, wait till you hear about this one. So
Not until next time.
not till next time. So
Okay. Well, you'll have to make a video, Jean. How's
there
that?
you go.
we'll,
Challenge
be,
on.
we'll be in a challenge for videos.
There you go. There you go.
It was great talking to you, Jean.
Always great with you as well. See you
Yeah.
in the
Have a
next
great
show.
week.